Don't worry about the carpet. I know it's not done, but I'm close. But don't mind that, we're here to talk about something completely different today. Through my own fitness journey, I found I have Googled some ridiculous questions. And today my goal is to simplify things as much as possible. And with the help of artificial intelligence, we are going to tackle that today. This is Building the Basics, a multiple part mini-series. And I say multiple because I don't know when this is going to end. We're going to fill it with as much content as possible to give you the information you need to achieve your health and fitness goals. In Building the Basics, our goal is to cover things from nutrition to programming to just general health and fitness tips that are going to help you along the way. And today's a little bit more generalized. My goal is to take some of the most asked questions on the internet and give you a simple answer on how to approach all of these different questions. Without further ado, let's get into it, starting with number one. Now that I've taken some time to do some really quick research, we are going to go through the top questions that I found, not by typing in how to fitness on a Word document, but actually looking into some just quick research points. We're going to fire off with some personal examples of mine in addition to the questions that we have today, so let's get into it. The first common question that has been asked in the last 6 months is how to lose belly fat in a week. You can lose some fat. You're not going to lose a lot in a week. Generally speaking, up to 2 pounds is a very safe amount of fat to lose in a given week. It's something I've done before. Anything below that point is fine as well. But if you do want to lose body fat, unfortunately, you're not going to be doing it in 1 week. Additionally, there is no way to spot reduce body fat. So if you are looking to lose belly fat specifically, you need to lose body fat as a whole. Imagine you have a tub of water and you have a little cup. And every day you take that cup and you put it in the water and you scoop a little bit out. The end result is that you are reducing the amount of water, or let's say body fat in this case, that is in the tub. But as you do so, it's not coming from one particular spot. You can go to the corner of the tub and take it out from there if you'd like, but it isn't going to just reduce that spot. Everything is going to come down at the same time. Genetically, everyone is a little bit different, but most people are going to pull from their limbs in, and belly fat is kind of the last to go. So if you're looking to lose belly fat in a week, you can start your fitness journey that week, but it's not going to end that quickly. When you're looking at health and fitness goals, let's look at the lifestyle changes that we can make instead. So for me, that was getting better sleep, feeling myself better, maintaining a calorie deficit, training, spending time in the gym, and lastly, planning for this as a long-term goal, something that I can sustain. The best program for you is the one that you can continue to utilize day in and day out. Which leads us to our next question. What is the best diet to lose weight? I think that's what it says. That is what it says. What is the best diet to lose weight? There's kind of a common theme that goes on with these questions, so see if you can pick up on it along the way. The best diet to lose weight is the diet that works best for you. There is no particular diet that is going to work better than others. They're all going to create an environment where you're sustaining a calorie deficit. That deficit is how you lose body fat or lose weight. With that being said, my recommendation, the one that I would use, is a diet that practices moderation and understanding your macro and micronutrients. At a baseline, you have carbs, fats, and protein, and how those need to be balanced is different per the individual. But in most cases, the one thing that I would not recommend is trying to use something that is too restrictive. We can take everything, so all the things you enjoy, high quality, nutrient-dense meals, and combine them into this space where as long as you're maintaining a calorie deficit, you will see results. But when you start to pull away things like carbohydrates or reduce eating windows, it can be kind of a mind game and it can get really tricky over time. With that being said though, if fasting is something that you're good at or it's a tool that you like to use, then by all means use it for your deficit phase. But the best way to lose fat will always be with the tools that you are the most comfortable with. Which now leads us to question number 3, which is something. Can you lose fat by just doing cardio? The short answer is no. That's just a factor in going into a fat loss phase. Cardio can be kind of the LaCroix that you whiff over the top of a fat loss journey, but the main factor or the main tool that you're looking to use is going to be that calorie deficit we discussed. This next question and the one prior both kind of play hand in hand. The question is, can you lose fat by just doing sit-ups? Up to this point in the video, the theme has been pretty common. So what I'd like you to do is answer that question for yourself. Do you think just doing sit-ups is going to promote fat loss? If you do think so, leave in the comments why. I'd love to know what your experience is with doing sit-ups for fat loss. Now, getting away from the can you lose fat questions with exercise, the next question that has been asked the most in the last 6 months is going to be, how much protein should you eat for fat loss? The short answer is 0.8 grams to 1.2 grams of protein per pounds that you weigh on the scale. If you are significantly overweight, then reduce it to what your goal weight is going to be and base it off of that. Another easy way to do this to get the most bang for your buck is to aim for about a pound of protein per pound of scalable weight. A quick tip with this, I am somebody who has a huge appetite. I love food. I love feeling full. So for me, the amount of protein that I eat in a day is kind of dependent on satiation. I'll use those guidelines, but if I need to have a little extra, I will, and I'll just pull that from something like my carbohydrates or my fat sources. The macronutrient protein is the most satiating. So if you have a big appetite, make sure you're biasing lean protein sources that are high in volume that you're gonna have to digest for a long time, that keep you really full. Let's continue to fire off on these questions. I don't know what number we're on. Please, editing gods, put it somewhere over here. The next question we have is, how much should I walk for weight loss? The answer is it depends. As with most of the questions that we're finding in the last 6 months, is it kind of depends on the individual. There are guidelines we should follow, but what is sustainable for you is what's going to work best. I recommend shooting for anywhere between 8,000 to 10,000 steps just to stay active, have good movement in the day. But it doesn't necessarily mean you have to be moving more to lose body fat. As referenced multiple times, a calorie deficit is going to be the most important factor. Moving your body though is a benefit, and it is very healthy to do, so I would recommend doing it. The next question is kind of from left field. It is not a question that I've personally been asked before as a health and fitness coach, but it is a question nonetheless, and we will talk about it. The question is, do chia seeds help in weight loss? The answer, sure, maybe, sure. Honestly, I've never used chia seeds for weight loss, but you can throw it in there if you'd like. There are tons of benefits of having chia seeds, and I know they're high in fiber, so that can be a benefit because fiber is also important for satiation. So if we're looking to be satiated and full through the day, then add that in. That's fantastic. Have I ever done that myself? No. Have I achieved results of recomposition without the chia seeds? Yes, but throw it in if you like it. If my math is mathing, which it might not be mathing, I think we're on question number 8. Question number 8 is, can you lose fat by just walking? Oh, I said that completely wrong. Question number 8 is, can you lose fat by just eating healthy? I'm gonna repeat this 100 times. It's come up a bunch in the video. Through my own personal experience and research as well, losing weight or body fat comes down to a calorie deficit. So you should be eating healthy. You should be eating majority whole foods, high in fiber, high in protein, with plenty of diversity in the foods that we consume, because it is important to have a healthy diet. Even if you're just eating healthier foods, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to lose weight. This happens all the time. When I started eating healthier foods, I would have like 3,000 calories of healthy foods. If my maintenance is somewhere between 26 and 2,800, I was in a surplus almost every day. And that was coming from things like rice, sweet potatoes, high-fat beef, chicken thigh, etc. Those were all things that I had as staple foods in my healthy diet that actually led me to gain more body fat. So again, if we are eating healthier, which you should be, you still need to make sure calorically you are sustaining a deficit. It is all about energy balance, and in the case of eating healthy food, I would love for you to do that, and you should, but it doesn't necessarily mean that is going to just be the byproduct of fat loss. Now, if you have healthy food, this is something that I've done before too. I go from eating a bunch of random stuff and a lot of hyper palatable, delicious processed foods every day to eating a balanced, nutrient-dense diet with high protein, high fiber, and you see the scalable weight change drastically, or you see that you lose 3 pounds overnight from changing how you're eating. That doesn't mean you're losing weight, nor does it mean you're losing body fat. It just means that you are losing water retention. If you were to sustain and continue to do that day in and day out for a couple of weeks, you'll notice that the scale will probably go up a little bit. Back to mathing. Question number 9. How do you tighten loose skin after weight loss? This one's kind of tricky. It depends on a lot of different things. I'm not gonna get too much in the weeds of this because I don't personally understand all of this space. I have a good idea of majority of things, but this is not one of them. To tighten up loose skin, I would assume it's beneficial to build lean mass, so put on more muscle mass to therefore change some of the composition that you see. But for excessive loose skin, I honestly am not sure how to get rid of that. We can get rid of the body fat. That's something that you should probably work with a professional on. Which brings us to our last question, which is very similar to the other questions that we have been asked. Can you walk for weight loss? Now, say it with me, class. Sure. Yeah, it's healthy. It's good for you. You should be walking. You should be moving your body. And that additional exercise is to a benefit. But again, the most stimulating thing you can do for fat loss is going to be maintaining an energy deficit. All these questions are easier said than done things. I've been through the process myself, and I know that it's really hard, and it's hard to maintain. It's hard to continue to follow through on the healthy habits that you've set in place. But with that being said, it is worth it. It is something that is going to benefit you the rest of your life. You're going to be more confident. You're going to feel better. You're going to look better. And with all of those things together, you're going to feel better day in and day out. My biggest hope that you take away from this is that you should do things that are going to work well for you. Not everybody can wake up and run 5 miles every day. Not everybody can even wake up and go on daily walks. So start with what works best for you that's sustainable, that you can do long term. We're looking for long-term results, and generally that takes things that are very simple done daily. So if working out 5 days a week is too much for you, start with 1 to 2. And if 2 is too much, start with 1. If walking 10,000 steps is too much for you, start with 2,000 steps, start with 3,000 steps. Start with very minimal things. If your nutrition is the hardest battle that you have, just start by adding more protein, adding more fiber, being satiated and feeling good, and we'll slowly start to see those foods swap out. But again, the best diet, the best fitness program, the best approach is the one that works well for you. There are hundreds of ways to do things. At the end of the day, if it doesn't work well for you and it only works for a couple of weeks or a month or maybe 2 months, choose something that's going to allow you to be in the game long term. It took well over a year for me to lose 70 pounds. It took a long time to go through a fat loss journey. I can tell you that it's worth it, and the things that were sustainable for me then are still sustainable for me now, and there are things that I still implement every day. So that's all for today's video. If you liked the video, please like, subscribe, follow for more. We are posting on Mondays, so tune in every Monday for more content. And if you have questions, comments, you want to say anything, please leave it in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Okay, bye.